Alright, what's up guys? I'm going to show you how the One Piece card game works, just so you understand what's going on in my other videos, or if you want to learn the game yourself. So this program is called OPTCG Sim. This is a fan-made digital version of the One Piece trading card game, and it works really well. So there's different lobbies in multiplayer. There's Western and Eastern. They're different ban lists. Western is only up to OP08. Eastern includes OP09. The deck I like to play is an OP09, so I usually do Eastern. So these are just random games. I usually just pick one at random and play. So let's hop into one. Okay, so each deck has a leader. The leader is kind of like your hero in Hearthstone, or kind of like your commander, I guess, in Magic. It usually has some ability that you revolve your whole deck around. Now the difference in One Piece is that it starts out on the field and it can't die. So, okay, he doesn't want to play. But let's see, maybe let's play this guy. Okay, see, I'm Luffy, but my colors are black and purple. His colors are red and purple. So all the cards in my deck have to be either black or purple. And for him, red and purple. Now he's going first. I'm going to go second. First player starts with 1 Dawn, which is the mana in this game. Player 2 starts with 2. I think this is fine. I don't really mind it. So he starts with 1. He plays 1. And then this amount goes up by 2 each turn. So I have 2 this turn. Next turn I'll have 4. I'll play this guy because he searches. So these are characters. Characters are like minions or monsters or creatures from whatever game you played. This guy lets me search for a Straw Hat Crew or a Pirates type. This is the only valid thing here. So I'm going to go with him. The big 10 mana Luffy. 10 Dawn Luffy. I sometimes use the wrong word because I'm from Hearthstone. I call it mana, I call these minions. Whatever, you know what I mean. So he's attacking me for 6,000. Now he wins this fight because 6 is bigger than 5. Actually, if he ties, he still wins the fight. But I can keep him from winning the fight by playing a counter out of my hand. So see, this has counter 2,000 on the left. I can use it for 2,000 counter, go 1,000 over his attack, and then the attack fails. If the attack went through, I would take 1 damage from my life cards here, and I would actually get that card to my hand. So there's kind of a trade-off. You take damage, but you get a card. So I'm at 4. I kind of want to kill this Zorojiro because it gives him more Dawns. It lets him ramp a little bit. I don't want that. So I'm going to use a Gum Gum Lightning. KO up to one of your opponent's power 6,000 or lower characters. This is called an event. It's like a spell. Like a spell in Yu-Gi-Oh! Or spells in Hearthstone. Whatever. And I think I'm going to attack. Since his guy is 6,000, I need to hit him for at least 6,000 for it to even work. But I'm going to go a little bit over to make him commit some more cards to countering my attack. And he just takes the damage there. Nice. Different leaders start with different amounts of life. The vast majority of them are 5, but mine is 4, and this one's pretty weird, it's 3. 7,000 to my face. Now I could counter it by using all 3 of these cards, but that's so many cards. I don't want to go down that many cards. I'll just take the attack. Nice, and I get a card. Some cards have trigger effects, which means they'll activate some effect once they're taken as a life card. So I'm on 6. I want to play this big 8-drop next turn. So let's see, 6. I'll play this Frankie. He is a 4 mana 5,000 blocker. Forces me to trash one card. That's fine. I'll trash this. And then I'll... Oh yeah, so these Dawns, they're your mana, but you can also use them to just buff any of your leaders or characters. So I can just put one on him, and he goes up to 6,000. And I'll put 2 more. Now he's at 8,000, which is pretty strong. Okay, nice. And we end. Okay, he's attacking me for 6,000. I have a counter for that, the 2,000 counter, so I'll use that. So the game becomes kind of like a... You're considering the value of everything. Is it worth using this 2K counter, this 2,000 counter, to dodge damage, or should I just commit, or should I keep it as a card? Hitting for 7,000, I might have to take that. That's okay. I could use my blocker. Wait, should I use my blocker? You know, I might use my blocker since I get it back with this. Let's do it. Okay. So Gecko Moria says, on play, choose 1 4 or less in my graveyard and 1 2 or less in my graveyard. Play them and then play the other one rested. So I get to play this guy for free, and I don't have a 2 or less, so it just doesn't happen, but that's still pretty good value. And his on play still works, still triggers. 1 card to trash. I'm gonna trash this. I have too many Morias. So I'm at 8. It's not bad. Let's attack in. So you can also attack characters. You can always attack the enemy leader, but you can only attack characters if they're rested. Sideways like this, tapped in Magic. So when you attack, you have to tap your character, and that leaves them vulnerable to counterattack. Okay, he plays a big blocker guy. There's a 6,000 blocker, which is pretty hefty, but he used quite a few mana to play it. Okay, he's also got this 10 drop. I think I'm gonna try to play this 10 drop this turn. I think. The 8,000. Let's just eat this one, I think. Resolve attack, cool, no trigger. And 7,000 in. I could block it. I mean, I could counter it. Let's do it. Okay, so I use a 2 and a 2,000 and a 1,000. I go 1 above his attack and block it. Okay, cool. So this turn, I could just go face, but he has a blocker, or not face. I could go for his leader, but he has this blocker, which makes things pretty annoying. Now I'm trying to play this gigantic 10 drop guy. So I'm gonna swing with this first. Swing at his 6,000, see if he's going to commit resources to save this thing. And he does. And he does. Okay. I'm reconsidering if it's a good idea or not. Yeah, let's do it. I don't really know. So this guy is insane. On play, you get rid of all your Dawns and all of your other minions. But you get 1 extra turn. So we're gonna go here and attack his 6,000 guy. Use another card from his hand, hopefully. Excellent. And turn, I get my extra turn. This is pretty scary. But I'm gonna go attack his 8,000 with my 12,000. Should be hard to block. He might block it with the 6,000 here. I'm okay with that. It gets rid of it. And let's play this Frankie also. 1, 2, trash 1 card. It's gonna be this Sanji, I guess. Yeah, probably the Sanji. Oh, huh. I could use this to clear something. I'm wondering if I should. Yeah, maybe I do. Or do I just play this blocker? It kind of does the same thing, in a way. Either way, I think I should do something. Otherwise I'm dead next turn, maybe. Alright, let's do this. I'll be at 8 mana next turn. I can Gecko Moria again. Okay. $7,000. Let's see. This is probably one of the smaller attacks he's throwing at me, but I don't really have that many options. Let's take the hit here. Okay. 9,000 in. So this guy's at 8,000. He can probably buff it to like 11,000 or so. Does it make any sense to not block here? I don't know. Let's do this. I don't think it really matters what order I do this in. He tried something sneaky. Not gonna work though. 8,000 in. I'll take it. Yeah, I think I die here. Okay, attack his rested stuff. Hopefully live. I don't know if I can or not. We'll see. Okay, the Sanji's very bad. Sanji is actually terrible for me. I think I'll use this Gum Gum Giant now. I do have tons and tons of counter. I might be able to live. Let's see. Yeah, there's not really any considerations to make here. Wait, I might win this actually. I actually have a chance. All right. Let's see. I'll save the 12,000 hit because it's so big. He has no blockers, so I have free attacks. I just need to hit him 3 times. So if this goes to this, goes to 10,000. Is that enough? And if this goes to 6, 7, 8,000, is that enough? He's got to use something. But he only has 3 cards left. Okay. He uses the Gum Gum Giant. Get some extra cards. Very cool. I think I just YOLO it. We're just going in, man. It's gotta work. Gotta work. 1000% chance of working. Yeah. I don't know. I hope it's enough. I don't think it is. Does he have 2 more? He needs 2 more counters. Oh my gosh, GG. So it actually came down to, I don't know if I could have won that one. It all depends on what cards he had in his hand, but it was a good enough chance for me to go for it. So yeah. Hope you understand the deck, or this game, a little bit more. I'll probably make a, something about just this deck after this. Okay, so here's my deck. This is the deck I fell in love with, that I've been really just only playing this one deck this entire time. The whole time I've been playing One Piece trading card game. So this is the leader. It is Luffy. He's 5,000 attack, which is, or 5,000 power, which is very standard. He only has 4 life, which is lower than normal. He has an ability, the Dawn ×1. That means when I have 1 Dawn equipped to him, your characters have +1 cost. And then the other effect is on my turn, and only once per turn, when 2 Dawn cards are removed from my field and put back into the deck, I get 2 back. 1 is active and 1 is not. So basically this means I get 1 free use of using 2 Dawns. So I have a lot of cards that -2, like see Frankie is on play. -2 has some effect. For most decks, that's a pretty big thing to pay because it lowers the amount of Dawns you have next turn also. And after that, because you're actually going down by 2. But with this deck, you can kind of do them for free. And not only for free, but you get 1 mana back for it. So you play the Frankie for 4, and you get 2 Dawns back afterwards, and 1 is active. So you kind of played him for 3. Anyway, so this guy is kind of the biggest thing in this whole deck. It's a 10-drop Luffy, has 12,000 attack. On play, you actually lose all your Dawns and all your other characters, and it's only him, and then you get 1 more turn after that. And he also has an ability. He uses 1 Dawn to get 1 active Dawn. So it's kind of a free ramp every turn. So yes, he gets rid of all your Dawns, but you're not completely out of the game. You can still ramp up after that. Especially in this deck, because of this ability, he actually lets you use this, the second ability on the turn that you play this, which helps a lot. I don't want to get into it. Anyway, okay, so Shiki, I have this card because it's a 2-drop blocker, and the on-play is pretty useful sometimes. It's only in here to get summoned by Gecko Moria, really. Sanji is mostly only in here for the 2k counter, but sometimes you can play him, not really. Black Maria also in here for the 2k counter and sometimes ramps. Sanji is just a really good rusher, and when you play him, he can rest one of your opponent's cost 6 or lower characters. A lot of times he can rest like a really annoying thing that you can't hit, which lets the rest of your guys target it. And he can attack too. And yeah, this guy's just useful all around. Law, I really want to play this guy on 1, ideally. He searches for all my good stuff. Straw Hat Crew is kind of the backbone of this whole deck. This is Straw Hat, this is Straw Hat. A lot of my 2Ks are Straw Hat. My main ramping is Straw Hat. My biggest thing is Straw Hat. So he searches for Straw Hats. This kind of thing is in the game, and it makes each deck kind of feel unique. Frankie is a great card in this deck. 5k blocker, which is a great stat line. Most heroes, or most leaders, have 5,000 power, and so a character having 5,000 power means they can attack, they can threaten that leader without having to use any dawns, which is pretty good. Frankie, you use 2 dawns, like you remove them, but then you discard 1 card from your hand and draw 2 cards. So he lets you kind of filter your hand, and he's a good blocker, and he's pretty good for attacking too, and he gets summoned off Gecko Moria. So he's really good in this deck. Zoro, he's here for the ramp. The way this interacts with the leader makes it so that Zoro is a 1 mana 5,000 character that also ramps you by 1. So the next turn, you have 1 more mana than you would have, and the turn after that, and the turn after that. So this card's very good. Usohachi, his on play is kind of useful sometimes, situationally, but he's really here for the 2k counter. Nami, she's pretty similar to Frankie. She's also a Straw Hat. She's also counter 1,000, but her stats are a little weaker. But she also gets summoned off Moria. So usually I don't play her. I just kind of pitch her into the graveyard and then summon her with Moria, maybe. Sanji is really good in this deck because his requirement is you need a cost 6 or greater character. But if you have 1 Dawn on your Luffy, it makes Sanji a 6 or greater character, and he actually fulfills his own requirement. So this guy's pretty good. On turn 6, you put 1 Dawn on Luffy and spend 5 mana on Sanji, and he can kill something. 5 or lower is a huge range, so well, it hits a lot of things. Moria is one of the biggest value pieces of this whole deck. He's a 9k, which is a really strong stat line, but he also affects the board by adding blockers. So usually you'll summon a Frankie or a Nonami or a Shiki, or a Law. Ideally you get one of your 4 drops and one of these 2 drops, and he's very good. So he gives you like value because these guys are drawing you cards. This adds a card to your hand, this cycles 1. You're getting value, you're getting defense, and you're getting offense all in 1 card. But he's not, he doesn't have rush, he doesn't clear any minions, so you need to kind of be in an okay spot in order to play him. This card is the ugliest card I've ever seen in this whole game, but it's a very good card. So 3 mana to ramp you by 1, and it ends up kind of costing 2 since it gives you 1 for 1 active. So it's kind of, this is ramp if you can't find your Zoros. It's still not bad. But where it really comes in handy is right after your Luffy turn, on the extra turn they give you, if they have anything with 6,000 or more power in play, this actually ramps you for 2, which means the turn after you play this Luffy, you have 10 mana again. You have to do the math, but it's pretty crazy. That's kind of what it's in here for, but also just sometimes you get a cheeky ramp because they played like a 4 mana 6,000. It happens a lot against like Blue Doffy. I have 4 Gum Gum Lightnings. I don't know if this is good or not, but I feel like I find a lot of units annoying and I want to just kill them. So this is in the deck. It's Dawn -2, which makes it kind of cost 1 with the leader proc. And this is probably the best card in the whole deck, Gum Gum Giant. It costs 1 mana, or 1 Dawn, and you lose 2 Dawns, and you trash a card from your hand, but it gives any character plus 4,000 power for this battle, and then I draw 2 cards, which is just insane value, especially late game. The thing about this card is you lose 2 Dawns, and since it's not on your turn, you don't get the free dawns back like with everything else. So you're actually making a sacrifice by doing this. The one time you don't make a sacrifice is if you're already at 10 dawns, you go down to 8 after you use this, and then on your turn you go back up to 10. So it's kind of like you did it for free. So kind of this deck's game plan is to use ramp and just kind of value pieces to make it to late game, get to 10 mana so you can start using your Gum Giants, play your Morias, play your Luffy, and just start outvaluing your opponents. This card just makes you unstoppable sometimes. And yeah, I love this deck. It's incredibly versatile. There's a lot of different ways to play it. It deals with a lot of different decks very well. And I think it's really funny to just play a 10-drop Luffy for no reason, and then ramp back up to 10 afterwards. So yeah, very cool deck. It took a long time to learn, but I hope you enjoy my games with it. All right, cool. Thanks for watching, and I will see y'all later.